Welcome to Dove and Dragon Radio. On our podcast, I have with me Kory Livingstone. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Now, if I'm reading everything right, you're actually a musician.
Yes.
And you have a few albums out, including doing a rendition of one of my favorite songs, Under the Boardwalk.
Oh, yeah. The Drifters. That's an all-time favorite of many, many people.
So, how did you get started in music?
Well, I was started. My mother started for me. She says, one day I was just standing in the living room looking, gazing out to the picture window, and I see these two men coming up the stairs, lugging this huge, looked like a huge thing. Anyway, it was a piano they brought up from the local department store, because that's where you bought them in those days. And next, my mom announced that, yeah, you boys are starting piano lessons next week. So that's the first I heard of it, the first I saw it. And so that's how I got started.
So everything to mom and piano lessons. I mean, I love piano, so.
Yes.
Oh. Now, you're also a transformational speaker on top of doing your music.
Yeah, that's something that's come of late, as it's actually a result of my music.
So how do you do your transformational speaking? How did you get into that? Let's put it that way.
Well, I got into it, maybe it was fate, it's a bit of a story. It goes back, goes back to, I got it right here. Can you believe? A musical concert, and the venue was put everything in there, lights and everything else. So I had gone down early. The concert was a Saturday night. I had gone down early in the morning. I had theater curtains and lights, and I was hanging.
I don't know.
For a sec. Okay, now I'm back.
Okay.
Okay, so I was getting everything ready physically for this concert, like the lights and whatnot. It took me most of the day, and the band was coming down later on for quick dry run before the concert. So, anyways, the concert was a success, and about 2 weeks later, I got this little note in the mail, and it was written on a little 3x3 blue Post-it, and this is what it said. It says, "Dear Kory, I've admired your persistent, quiet determination and attention to details. It's more than talent, it's a mature determination. I could do well to apply the same to my life. May God bless all of your efforts." Signed, Neil S. Now, Neil, guess he was the custodian of this venue. And apparently he'd been watching me do a thing, which I didn't think was unusual. It was, very normal. You got something to do, and you just get it done.
Right.
But this was extraordinary for him, because I seen, those words, quiet determination, and it's actually the title of my book. So I said, my goodness, there was something in that letter, but I wasn't sure what it was. So I'm just going to put that away. There's something in there was calling out to me. And I just put that away for about 5 years on the bookshelf. And in fact, I framed it right here. You can see it right there.
That is
right
awesome.
And so as years passed, I ran into this fellow. His name was Robert Allen. He was coaching people on he said, everybody has a book to write. Everybody has a book inside of them. And he was right. I said, well, okay, what will I write about? And it came to me. I'm going to find out what this quiet determination, what did Neil mean by quiet determination? What did he mean? Because, I had done nothing unusual as far as I was concerned. But so I said about thinking, what this meant, and as I planned the book out, things started coming to me. And basically, what it was, I just had a mindset. It was just my mindset. I was trained, born with, and coached that you get something done, and you're going to do something. You start, and then you keep going, and then you finish it. And so I looked back, and I related that to my music. A lot of the things I'd done in music had given me this mindset. Because in music, you have to start something. You have to keep repeating and repeating and repeating, whether you like it or not, until you get results. You have to stick to it. You have to forgo things that you want to do in order to reach the goal that you're doing. Like a lot of the times, my friends and then boys in the neighborhood would say, "Come on out and play." Oh, I can't, guys. I gotta practice my piano a bit more. Oh, you poor guy. You gotta go and practice. Okay, so I was taught through music, even though I didn't know it, a lot of things you have to do to be successful, and it's that mindset that you have, and it's transferable. It's not just for music. It's the same set of mindsets as you transfer to any part of your life to be successful. And Neil hit it right on the head. He says it's mature determination. I could do well to apply the same to my own life. So if he could apply my mindset to his, he feels he would do well. So my book sort of laid out what.
One moment. Let me get my dog. There's days she's nice and quiet, and today she's not being quiet. Get downstairs. Go. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
Trying to work from home, and sometimes the dog works with me, and sometimes she doesn't.
Yeah. Well, as long as he works well. When he works.
So we have quiet determination out there, and I do a lot of things with different coaches. Work with like Antonio T. Smith, who works with Blair Blazer. So doing a mindset, changing and taking it from your personal life to your business life to your creative life, whether it be music, writing, acting, it changes everything you do. And so many people can learn from that. I mean, you have 15 ways to break the barriers in your book.
Yes. Yeah. And those, it's basically just mindset, well, it's just, it's not it's something that everybody can do. Like they're not secret. It's just a matter of, you can do it.
Yes. Anyone out there can change your own mindset. There's no secret to that. The secret is staying away from the negative people that bring you down.
Yeah, and it's funny, the longer you're here, the more that becomes so evident. There's, I think the ratio of negative to positive people that could influence your life is probably 3 or 4 to 1.
Unfortunately, that's true.
Yeah.
At least, okay, you take any small a group of 100 people, at least 70% of them are negative anymore. We don't have that mindset of positivity. Now, if we take the same
Yeah.
group and you have a 70%, 75% that's positive, what happens to that 20% or 25%? They start changing their main mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, um, you know, and you have to ask the question, why is it that negativity seems to be the overwhelming force?
Exactly. We don't have a solution as why is negative, but we're trying to give people hope and say, hey, change your mindset, change how you think and respond to situations. Then you can grow in life. If you want that promotion, you're not going to get it if you're negative all the time.
Yeah. I think it's it's kind of the philosophy, at least in North America, that things are supposed to come easy, and then they may come easy in school, where where you're automatically promoted, or you're given trophies for participation, even though you came in dead last. When you go to the real world, and when you find that, sorry, one and one makes two, one plus a half doesn't make two. Before, one plus a half would be two.
Right.
But and so I think it's a mindset as a, gee, do I really have to work that hard to happen? People really don't. It takes a lot of work.
It does. And the sad thing is,
And like I say, and this is, people don't.
if we start this in school, if we start teaching mindset in school and start teaching, hey, you actually have to work to get ahead, not just skate by or have participation certificates or ribbons or whatever, we actually teach real life in school, would be so much better as adults.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's ever going to happen. And it's for the individuals, that I call the talent whisperers. If you're lucky, I've been fortunate to have a couple of talent whisperers in my life, and perhaps you probably have as well, who give you that encouragement. And a little bit of encouragement goes a long way.
It
A
does.
long way. In you that you don't see, and you could never see it, just from just because your point of view. uh, they can see your strengths, and they see your weaknesses. Sometimes you think your strengths are your strengths, but you find that from a talent whisper, sometimes your strengths are your weaknesses. But
True.
they're very good to have someone like that to to give you that guidance. But again, you have to be open. You have to have a mindset to be open to accept positive, not criticism, but a critique. Yes, a positive critique, and 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 be open enough to accept that and say, yeah, I'll give it a try.
Exactly. You have to try new things. You have to keep trying new things until you get ahead. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, isn't that the definition of insanity?
Yes, but this is what people do. And one chapter in my book, I talk about persistent practice, uh, and and people think that, well, if I do this one thing, keep doing it over and over, I do it well. I'll get to put the extra hours in. I'll do all these things. I'll just keep doing that. Uh, that's just doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. You have to go outside of that and add a new skill. or add something different. You know, even something that simple, like you mentioned, you'd want to get a promotion. Just keep doing the same things well is only good, but it's not good enough. You have to add new skills. I can do 5 things well. I keep doing them 5. And I've been doing them for 10 years. Well, I think you better add number 6. You know, that really shows, you know, this is what makes you better. This is what gets you in line for a promotion, is you're showing people that, you know, you have more things to give than just that, even though those things are good, but you have to grow.
Right. You can be a best-selling author with 1 book. Well, okay, when your next book coming out? Well, I'm not writing no more. I'm already a best-selling author. Okay, why? You wrote 1, why not write 3? Why not write 6? Why not go take what you learned from here and teach a class on writing? Go that extra step. Don't just stop once you get to your benchmark.
Yeah, it's like they say in sports, you're only as good as your last game.
Exactly. And that's so true though. I mean, you're could be the best at that game. Well, did you bring that game to this game? Because it's a different game now. You're in a different day, different mindset.
Exactly.
And you have one of my favorite quotes on your website from Maya Angelou that says, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. We see this with writing, we see this with all forms of creative arts, but we also take this when you're a manager. How are you making people feel today? When you're a cashier at McDonald's, are you taking your negative whatever happened and putting it over to your customer? Are you giving them a smile and brightening up their day?
Yeah, it's like I said before, it's not something that is secret. It's just normal. They're right in front of us, these things. And like you say, even like the cashier, wherever it is, how they make you feel, and that makes you want to go back to that same place again. Because, you know, once somebody gives you a rough time, is not nice to you, you know, you say, well, I'm not coming back here again. You know, it's that simple.
Yeah, it is. It's so simple to change your mindset and to actually take control over your thoughts.
Yeah.
Your mom, your dad, your grandma, grandpa, cousins, aunt, uncles, whoever's in your near circle is not in control of your thoughts.
Exactly. And that's, you know, that's one of the things I do in my transformational speaking. When I speak, I include my music. Like, basically speaking is storytelling. You know, you you have a point and you tell a story around it. But I drive the point of the story home with a rendition of a mostly of a song that I've written, and it's that emotional tie to the song that drives home my point. And this is what people remember. Like along with the same quote, people forget the facts, okay, long after whatever it is, a conference, a seminars, but they, like you say, they remember how you made them feel. And the music is one of the tools that I use to get in, to touch people emotionally.
And it's a great tool for you because you're a musician. It works.
Yeah,
Because, okay, music, people remember music more than they will remember anything that's spoken.
exactly,
So
exactly,
you touch someone's heart with your music, but you're also touching the words with your brain because now they're remembering the words to that song because it's put to music.
exactly, exactly. You know, I recently went to a conference was in Las Vegas. When was it? It was January. Yeah, before the shutdown. And one of the speakers came on, and of all the speakers that day, he's the only one I remember because the way he focused on the way he delivered his talk. I still remember the three things he says that were paramount to being a successful coach or a leader. He says you got to have love for the person, you have to trust them, and you have to be committed. I still remember those three things because he touched us emotionally. And I couldn't tell you, just walking away with three things like that, those, and I don't think I'll ever forget those. I mean, he made the impact, because he touches motion, and those three words or those three ideas, very, very, very powerful. And he made it so simple.
Very true. It's just simplicity works better than complicating whatever you're talking about.
Yeah.
When you complicate your talking, and when you're complicating your message, people don't understand it. If you keep it nice and simple, we can understand it.
Exactly.
So right now, are you concentrating on your music, your books, or your motivational speaking more?
Well, I'm doing, actually still three, but in the order, I'm concentrating first on still my music, but on the business around my book. A book is basically a tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, most people say, oh, you've written a book, isn't that great? Well, the book, yeah, it's important, but it's only a tool. And it's connected to my speaking. It's only used to get more speaking engagements. It's more, think of it as a glorified business card. When you give someone a business card, just the little ones we have today, they put it away and they may not ever see it again. You
Right.
give them a book. That's not going in to be.
No, it's not.
They're going to be able to see that.
Yeah, I have business cards laying around my office everywhere. I have books on a shelf. I keep the ones that are like my motivational speakers that I talk to all the time. Or, hey, I'm needing help. I need a creative get out of my mind for a second. I go to the book because their book's going to have all their contact information to get a hold of them. I can go through 200 business cards and never find who I'm looking for.
That's right. That's right. In the business card, unless there's a picture on there, who is this person?
Exactly. I mean, seriously, you have to put your picture on your business cards nowadays.
Because I found the trouble. Yeah. Well, but even so, I find a big fault with business card. Give you the business card. Say, yes, I do this, but 2 months later, I look at the card. I see, Joe Blow, call me when you need a hand. A hand in what? Or from FDY Solutions. What kind of solutions? Dishwasher solutions? I don't know. So I what do you do? I knew at the time when I got the card, right?
Right.
But and more likely I put it in a pile somewhere, and I won't look at that pile for months or years.
Mm-hmm.
But like you say, the book is there, and basically one thing I'm looking at now is one of my approaches to use my book because just because if they buy it, yes, but uh, if you're it's in the real world, looking at the real world, they will read it if they have the time or they feel like, because people are very, very busy now. What I'm using my book for is, like I say, so people will not forget me, but also I'm hoping people will get several copies of my book so they can attach their card or even write in the inside cover and give it to somebody else, with their name in. So, they've got that kind of gift. It's same idea. It's much better than giving away a promotional mug or promotional hat or a promotional pen or promotional computer.
Oh, I know.
You've got something useful.
Yes.
And it's got value.
You are the third motivational speaker I've talked to that gives away their books in hope that, hey, here's my book, put to and from in it and pass it on to someone else. Because now you're getting the credit for the book, but they have their name in it as well. So they're being remembered secondly.
Exactly.
But we're almost out of time.
Okay.
So where can our listeners find you?
They can get me at on my website, which is Kory Livingstone. That's spelled Kory, and then that's easy to remember. You type those into your computer, and you'll come up with me. You've got my email address and whatnot, my website. It'll come right up to you.
It was awesome having you on the show today. I'm very honored to have a triple threat on my show, which is music, books, and motivational speaking. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, you're welcome, Alicia. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
And have a wonderful weekend. And to all of our listeners, have a wonderful day. And pick up Kory's book, listen to music, or have him on your podcast if you have a podcast. It's wonderful talking with you, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks. Bye now.
Bye.